Well, Rachel was desperate to play with Theron. You know, it was her idea.
Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah.
It's the video no one was supposed to see. Just 15 seconds, no caption, no context, just a dimly lit stage, a spotlight, and a voice singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" that did not belong to Rachel Zegler.
Rachel didn't even seem like she cared or liked the source material.
At first, it looked like a standard rehearsal clip, blurry, anonymous, forgettable, but something about it felt off. And within hours, the internet exploded. Fan forums turned into crime scenes. TikTok detectives zoomed, slowed, analyzed, and the deeper they looked, the clearer it became.
All of Hollywood's like, yep, let's make her a thing, let's make her a thing. But she's never made a movie that's been successful.
The woman in the video was shorter. Her posture, different. Her vocal tone, softer. Her hair, pulled back. Her presence, commanding. And the verdict hitting every comment section like wildfire? That's not Rachel. That's someone else. And she's 10 times better. But here's where it gets wild. No one's denying it. Not Rachel. Not the production. Not a single rep has stepped in to clarify who's standing under that spotlight or where the original lead has gone.
You know, she worked with our musical supervisor in New York on the material. Her versions of the songs were terrific. Jamie's excited, Andrew and Tim are excited.
That silence, it's not just suspicious, it's calculated. So who is this mystery performer? And how did a no-name actress go from anonymous rehearsal to viral sensation overnight? We'll break it all down, frame by frame. Because once you see the footage for yourself, you'll understand exactly why fans are saying the quiet part out loud. Did Evita just replace Rachel Zegler without telling anyone? And is the new Eva the one we should have had all along? Stick around. The final frame of this clip might just change everything.
So, I mean, it should make for a fabulous summer at the Palladium. Ticket sales are already, through the roof. So we're really thrilled about that.
She wasn't supposed to be the star. She wasn't supposed to trend. But thanks to a leaked rehearsal video and a wave of fan obsession, Camila Delgado's name is suddenly everywhere. And if the internet detectives are right, she may have just stepped into the role of a lifetime, Eva Perón, without a single official announcement. So who is she? According to fans who've tracked down every grainy backstage leak, forum whisper, and voice match clip, Camila Delgado is a classically trained stage actress from Buenos Aires. Not a household name, not a red carpet regular, but a rising talent with a background in opera, musical theater, and roles in regional Argentinian productions.
Online we're talking about they would like to see a West End performer maybe play this part, but I do think that Jamie Lloyd is looking at this production going to Broadway and is being very clever in his casting choices.
One viral TikTok claims she played Maria in West Side Story during a university tour in 2019. A full circle twist, considering that's the same role that launched Zegler. What makes Camila stand out isn't just her voice, it's her presence. Even in low-res footage, fans notice something striking. The stillness, the grounded delivery, the way she holds the space. Her Eva doesn't scream star power, she commands it. One viral tweet read, "She doesn't act like she's Eva, she just is." Rachel always felt like she was trying to prove something. Camila doesn't need to. And then there's the authenticity factor. Camila is from Argentina. She knows the culture, the accent, the legacy of Eva Perón in a way that critics say Zegler never fully embraced. That difference, however subtle, isn't going unnoticed.
I got back into therapy. I couldn't be with my therapist all year last year because I ended up spending the entire year outside of the United States.
Of course, nothing has been confirmed. No playbill update. No press photos, but theater fans don't need headlines to see what's happening. They've already made up their minds. Camila Delgado isn't just the understudy, she's the upgrade. And if this really is the beginning of her takeover, one thing's certain, Eva Perón just found her voice, and it's not Rachel's anymore. For someone who's never met a camera she didn't like, Rachel Zegler's recent silence is louder than a standing ovation. No Instagram updates, no rehearsal photos, no quirky TikToks filmed from backstage, and most striking of all, no comment at all on the viral video that just shook the entire Evita production. It's not just unusual, it's calculated, because Zegler has built her entire public persona around being outspoken. Whether it's politics, pop culture, or defending her own performances, she's rarely shied away from saying something. And yet now, in the middle of what could be the biggest professional scandal of her career, nothing.
Video is gonna get taken out of context, and I know that at this point I can't really stop people from doing that because that's what my whole existence on the internet is just me being taken out of context and stuff.
Her last Instagram post, still sitting quietly with no new updates, is a cryptic black and white image of an empty theater stage. The caption, "Sometimes silence is the strongest sound." At the time, fans thought it was poetic, but in hindsight, many believe it was a warning, a sign that something behind the scenes had shifted, and not in her favor. Followers have also noticed that she's removed Evita-related content from her bio and archived rehearsal clips that previously filled her story highlights. And while social media silence can sometimes be a PR strategy, this one feels more like damage control, or worse, surrender. Because when someone who thrives on attention suddenly disappears from their own narrative, people don't just speculate, they assume the worst. Even Zegler's own PR team, usually quick to issue clarifications or clapbacks, has gone dark. No denials, no reassurances, just a cold void where the damage control should be. And that's what has fans talking.
If I was a Hollywood executive, I would blacklist her.
If this were just an understudy rehearsal, wouldn't Rachel have said something by now? A joke? A selfie? A quote about resilience? Instead, all we've gotten is silence. And for a woman who once lived online, that silence is beginning to feel like a goodbye. It wasn't a stumble. It wasn't a bad rehearsal. According to multiple sources close to the production, Rachel Zegler's time in Evita may have ended with a full-scale backstage meltdown, one that insiders say was so disruptive. Security was called. It happened reportedly during a high-stakes rehearsal. The pressure was already mounting. Tension with the director, cold energy from the cast, and whispers that not everyone was happy with her interpretation of Eva. Then came the breaking point. Zegler allegedly raised her voice, hurled a chair prop across the stage, and challenged a creative decision mid-scene. The room froze. One assistant director, according to a leak on Reddit, allegedly said just 3 words, "Get her out." And just like that, Rachel was escorted off the premises, not in dramatic tabloid fashion, but with quiet, deliberate finality, and she hasn't been back since. The story sounds wild until you consider the pattern. Zegler's name has been attached to more than one difficult-to-work-with rumor. Her infamous Snow White press tour had critics and fans alike questioning her tone, her attitude, and her lack of reverence for beloved source material. At events, she's reportedly clashed with stylists, photographers, and even co-stars. So, this doesn't feel out of character. It feels like confirmation. And then there's the aftermath. No photos of Rachel at the theater. No updates from the production. No public effort to smooth things over. Just a sudden silence and a new face on stage. The meltdown, if it happened as reported, may have been the final straw. A role she was desperate to play. A production that could have rebranded her career. Gone. And now, that spotlight is shining on someone else. Someone calmer. Someone more focused. Someone who didn't throw a chair. If the internet sleuths are right, and let's face it, they often are, Camila Delgado isn't just stepping in. She's already taken over. The evidence? It's everywhere.
The second I land in Los Angeles, I am flooded with like a flurry of different emotions, and I can't figure out what's real and what's not.
Leaked call sheets, backstage audio, and a rehearsal video that was never supposed to be seen, all pointing to one conclusion. Rachel Zegler is out, and Camilla's already center stage. Let's start with the leaked cast list. A grainy backstage photo surfaced online showing the principal cast pinned to a wall. Zegler's name? Nowhere. In her place? A scribbled CD written in blue ink, just legible enough to get fans buzzing. CD, Camila Delgado. It might be unofficial, but in a production environment, that kind of change isn't made lightly. Then there's the audio. In the viral TikTok clip, someone off camera clearly says, "Camila, go again from the top." The voice is faint, the sound is fuzzy, but it's there. And in the world of live theater, first names don't get thrown around during tech unless you're the lead. Even costume rumors have surfaced. According to a now-deleted Reddit post allegedly from someone in the wardrobe department, Rachel's fittings were abruptly canceled, and a new set of measurements was submitted for a shorter actress with a smaller frame. Not Rachel, someone else. Fans believe Camila has already signed a temporary contract, possibly for previews or early performances, while the production tests her with live audiences. It's a common tactic in theater. Bring in the new talent without the public spectacle, then decide whether to go public after the reviews start rolling in. So is Camila Delgado now Eva Peron? The production hasn't said a word. But based on every leak, every whisper, every frame of that viral video, she's already playing the part. And the longer Rachel stays silent, the clearer it becomes. This isn't speculation anymore. It's Succession. To understand how we got here, how Rachel Zegler went from buzzy casting to quiet disappearance, you have to rewind the tape. Because this didn't start with a viral video. It started with cracks that were showing from the very beginning. When Zegler was first announced as the lead in Evita, the reaction was mixed. Some fans were excited, others were skeptical. But behind the scenes, whispers of concern were already circulating. According to one production source, rehearsals turned tense within the first week. Zegler reportedly clashed with the director over staging. She questioned musical arrangements, she asked for script edits, and above all, she didn't take notes well. She came in like she already knew how to play Eva, one cast member allegedly told a theater blogger. But Eva's not just a diva role, it's a responsibility. It didn't help that Zegler was already carrying the weight of her Snow White PR disaster. The backlash from that press tour, her dismissive tone, her viral girl boss comments, her mockery of the original film, had already bruised her image. When Evita rehearsals began, it wasn't just a role, it was supposed to be her redemption. Instead, it unraveled fast. According to multiple reports, Zegler grew increasingly distant from the cast. She stopped socializing, stopped engaging, and then came the meltdown, followed by the silence. Now, with a new actress possibly stepping in and fans calling the replacement 10x better, the full picture is coming into focus. Zegler's fall from grace wasn't sudden. It was slow, cumulative, and maybe inevitable. She wanted to command the stage. But now she may be remembered not for her performance, but for how quickly she lost the role and how seamlessly someone else stepped in to take it.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
If this all feels familiar, it's because we've seen the same pattern before. Rachel Zegler lands a high-profile role, delivers a few overconfident interviews, and the studio behind her starts quietly stepping away. First, it was Disney with Snow White. Now, all signs suggest Evita's producers are following the same playbook: damage control through distance. Let's rewind to Snow White. When Zegler was cast as the iconic Disney princess, it should have been a career-defining moment. Instead, it became a PR nightmare. Her comments trashing the original animated film, calling it outdated, saying the prince was a stalker, mocking the story, sparked a global backlash. Longtime Disney fans were furious, casual audiences were confused, and the internet, ruthless. And what did Disney do? Nothing. No real defense, no pushback, no joint press appearances. Zegler was left on an island, publicly alone as the face of a film that Disney seemed increasingly hesitant to market. The film's release date was delayed. Teasers vanished. Promotional momentum flatlined. Now with Evita, we're seeing deja vu. Zegler disappears from rehearsals. The production goes silent. A new actress steps in, but there's no statement, no clarification, no official comment, just a quiet replacement in plain sight. That kind of strategy doesn't happen by accident. It's what insiders call a soft cut, when studios or producers stop fighting for a name and start planning around them. Zegler's reputation as difficult, entitled, and off-message is no longer a rumor. It's a liability. And when both Disney and Evita producers start pulling the same vanishing act, it's not a coincidence, it's a trend. And in Hollywood, that's the last thing a rising star wants tied to their name.
I don't know, Prince or a different kind of Prince?
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you? Oh my God. Are you Disney?
Theater fans don't play around. And when they saw the mystery woman in that now viral Evita rehearsal clip, their reactions weren't just positive, they were electric. Within minutes, TikTok creators were calling the new actress magnetic, commanding, and, yes, 10 times better than Rachel. One video with over 250,000 views compared Camila Delgado's performance with archived clips of Zegler singing the same material. The difference? Camila understands Eva's restraint, the voiceover explains. Rachel was all volume and no nuance. Thousands of comments echoed the sentiment. This new girl feels like Ava, one user wrote. She's not performing, she's becoming. Even theater critics, usually cautious about weighing in on rumors, have started chiming in. One UK blogger known for West End coverage called the viral clip proof that casting from within the culture works. Another wrote, this is what Ava Peron should sound like. Grounded, mature, and emotionally lived in. And it's not just about voice. Fans dissected Camilla's posture, her stillness, the quiet power in her delivery. Rachel always felt like she was trying to prove something. A tweet with 20,000 likes read, "This new girl just is." The fanfare isn't mean-spirited, it's revelatory. People aren't rooting against Zegler for sport. They're realizing that Evita could be something better than they imagined, and that realization is reshaping the narrative. Because when a rumored understudy outshines the star before the show even opens, that's not hype, that's momentum. And for a production that was on the brink of bad press, Camilla's presence might be more than a casting change. It could be the save they didn't know they needed. There's one more layer to this unfolding drama, and it's the quietest and most dangerous of them all: legal tension. Because while Rachel Zegler has stayed silent on social media, insiders are now whispering that her team may be preparing for something bigger than a PR response.
Listen. And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her.
Oh my God.
And I can only hope.
What does that mean?
That despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do,
According to a London-based entertainment lawyer who spoke anonymously to a local tabloid, there are early signs of a potential wrongful termination claim brewing behind the scenes. If true, it could explain the deafening silence from both the Evita production and Zegler's camp. When lawyers get involved, the press goes dark, and every word becomes a liability. It's a familiar Hollywood dance. The star is removed, the replacement steps in quietly, and the original lead's team weighs their legal options. Did Rachel breach her contract with that now infamous meltdown, or did the production act too quickly, without official warning, without process? If Zegler's team can prove mishandling, they may have grounds to seek damages. Of course, this is all speculative, but the pieces fit. Wardrobe fittings were canceled. Her name vanished from cast lists. New measurements were submitted. Yet there's been no official announcement. That kind of operational shift, with zero explanation, it's classic legal limbo. Some believe Zegler may be holding off on public statements because she's being advised not to speak while a case is being built. Others think she may be trying to negotiate a quiet exit to avoid further humiliation. Either way, the silence isn't just strategic, it's potentially legal. And for Evita, that means the show may be heading for its most dramatic scene yet. Not on stage, but in court. Because if Rachel was removed without a clear exit clause, that's not just a scandal, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So what happens now? We have a viral video, a vanishing star, a rising newcomer, a production frozen in silence, and an internet that refuses to wait for the official story. Rachel Zegler may not have been fired with a headline, but if she's been quietly replaced, the evidence is mounting by the minute. The clip wasn't subtle. The cast list wasn't a mistake. And Camila Delgado's performance? It didn't feel like a rehearsal. It felt like a debut. Fans know it. Theater insiders know it. And whether the producers admit it or not, the public has already decided. Rachel Zegler is out. But what's shocking isn't just the replacement. It's how clean it's been. No formal statement. No messy press cycle. Just a silent switch, a new voice under the spotlight, and a lead actress whose digital footprint is slowly being erased from the narrative. This isn't how stars get replaced. It's how stars get rewritten, and the implications are huge. If Zegler was truly let go, if the rumors about backstage meltdowns, clashes with creatives, and contract disputes are even half true, then the production didn't just recast Evita. They protected their show by erasing the chaos. Fast, quiet, clinical. The only thing left is the confirmation. Will the producers make a surprise announcement? Will Rachel break her silence? Or will Camila Delgado simply walk out on opening night and own the stage like she was meant to be there all along? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. The spotlight has moved, and Rachel Zegler is no longer standing in it. So what do you think? Is this just a casting shakeup? Or has Evita made a historic switch while pretending nothing happened? Drop your thoughts in the